We had an interesting close that came in from the US market, a bit on the positive side, but Asian markets, the ones which are open, whether you look at the Kospi or the Nikkei. So Kospi is doing well. They've jumped up to record high levels today. Most of the markets, though, nonetheless, are shut in the trading session, whether you look at the Taiwan market, Chinese market, Hong Kong market, all of them are shut. Vietnam market, that is also shut. But yes, we have Kospi that's open and Nikkei that's open. So when you look at the Kospi and Nikkei, we're seeing a bit of a positive gain coming in on that front. Let's look at the Nifty implied open. What's the indication today here? 20-point uptick as of now. So very mild positive start is what we're keeping an eye out on. But yes, that will be interesting to see whether we pick up momentum like the other Asian markets which are open, or where are we going to be headed. To understand all those cues, let's bring on board a team of research who's joining us to set you up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for, cues in the world of F&O as well. First up, we have Ekta who's joining us this morning to tell us the important cues that you should keep an eye out on this morning. Good morning, Ekta.
Morning. Well, yes, the markets did close higher for the third straight session yesterday. The Nifty closed above 25,800. We had the FIIs which put in their weight in yesterday's trading session. So they bought around 1,500 odd crores, and the DIIs net bought around 440 odd crores. Like you mentioned, multiple Asian markets are closed, such as the larger markets such as China, Hong Kong. But the ones which have come back from that lunar holiday, for example, the Kospi as well as the Japanese markets at this point in time are trading higher, taking cues from the US markets, which did close higher in yesterday's trading session, led by the tech stocks. We do have Brent crude, which has jumped up as well, so do watch out for that. Overall, in terms of what we could watch out for today, would be the US markets, which would possibly rub off positively on the Indian markets along with the tech stocks. So we also have the AI summit, which is taking place. And remember that today there will be big faces such as Prime Minister Modi, Mukesh Ambani, Sam Altman, the French president, just to name a few. We have results coming in from ABB India, and overall the Nifty testing 26,000 would be something that the street would watch out for, along with the tech stocks seeing a rebound. Remember that the Nifty IT index has almost lost around 15% on a year-to-date basis. Now, in terms of the US data, just watch out for the US weekly jobless claims data, pending home sales report, as well as the Friday release of the personal consumption expenditure price index in the US, which would be one of the important inflation gauges. So that would be something that the street would be watching for.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ekta. But now let's go across to Gaurav, who's here to tell us the important stocks that we're keeping an eye out on in today's trading session. Good morning, Gaurav.
Well, good morning. First, let's talk about Pace Digitech, because this company has received an order worth $1.35 million, and this is from the Yakin Chemicals for supply of mobile battery energy storage system. Other than that, NCC. Now, we may see some negative reaction here, and the reason being that company has been debarred from participating in any NHI tenders for the next 2 years. If you look at pharma stock, we have got some news overnight. First, let's talk about Zydus Life, because company has received their final approval from US FDA for one of the drugs called Bosentan tablet. Dr. Reddy's, now this company is in an agreement with Mercury Pharma, and they are going to acquire trademarks along with some other assets for acquisition value of around $32 million. Alembic Pharma, if you look at this company, US FDA has recently completed its inspection at one of the facilities with 2 observations. Company said that none of these observations were related to data integrity. Now, if you move to HUL, they have actually announced a capex of around 2,000 crores overnight. They said that this capex will be done in the next 2 years, and this will expand their manufacturing capacity. So let's watch out on this as well, because it could be a positive tone for HUL. And lastly, let's also not forget about Yatra Online, because promoter has now sold 1.8% stake on 17th of February. Promoter said that this stake was sold to fund certain legal and compliance expenses, and they do not intend to sell any further stake. But let's see if there is any negative sentimental reaction in this stock today.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Gaurav. But in the final update, let's go across to Sudarshan, who's joining us from the F&O desk to give us the F&O update. Good morning, Sudarshan. Today, what are the important levels, cues that we're keeping an eye out on?
Good morning, Vinny. So it's a Sensex expiry day, and if you talk about yesterday, it was another day of good trade, and especially till half day of the trade, it looked like that we might have a flat close, but at the end, it was a good recovery that we have seen in IT stocks, and also positive move continued in the banking names, and Nifty Bank is now hovering around record high level of around 61,700. Now, for Nifty, the important part was Nifty has hold on to levels above 50 DMA of 25,750. Put call ratio, it has increased further to 1.21 versus 1.13. That indicates you that put writing has continued for another day. Now coming to the 5 flows, we have seen buying both in the index futures and in the stock futures. In the index futures, they have bought more than 1200 crore. In the stock futures, buying figure was more than 300 crore rupees. Also, they have added long positions, and that's the reason long exposure now increased to 23%, while they have reduced short positions, and now short exposure has reduced to 77% from the level of 79% that we had yesterday. Now in the options data, 25,700 and 25,800 put options were active, where we have seen maximum put writing. On the call side, 25,800 and 26,000 were the most active call options. So support for Nifty, first support would be around 25,700. That's your 100-day moving average. Resistance, first resistance would be around 25,950. That's your recent closing high. 2 stocks remain in the band. Those are SAIL and Samant Capital. Some of the stocks that I'll keep an eye on the fresh long side, I'll keep an eye on CG Power, and on the fresh short side, I'll keep an eye on Vari Energies and Aurobindo Pharma.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Sudarshan. But